But then the very important aspect in this is that we have to see where we take this ilm from. Ibn Sirin rahmatullah alayhi, great tabi'i, says, "Inna hadha al-ilma deenun." Imam Tirmidhi rahmatullah alayhi quotes this saying of his, that "Inna hadha al-ilma deenun," that this knowledge is also deen. So, "Fanzuru amman ta'khuduna deenakum." So beware of where you take this knowledge from, who you take it from, what are his credentials, what is his background. Otherwise, nowadays, there's a lot of confusion that is being created out there. And now a person doesn't know better, and now he's taking anything wherever it comes from, whoever it comes from. He's just going on Mufti Google and Sheikh Google or whatever. He doesn't know who's writing what. Whatever comes because it sounds nice or because it is written in a captivating way, anything goes. But what is the reality of it? And sometimes, Allah forbid, what is the agenda behind it? And then a person just takes anything from anyone and everyone and falls into a major confusion. Just recently, in this month of Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala had blessed us to go to the Haramain Sharifain. In Medina Munawwara, just in line with the Roza Mubarak, not far off in the back, one person gives a talk every day in Urdu. We happen to be not far off distance because it was on the speakers, you can hear what the talk is all about. So now because he's talking in Urdu, so the predominant listeners are all Indians and Pakistanis and from the Asian countries, Urdu speaking and understanding people who are predominantly Hanafi. Now suddenly you can hear this person talking about Dua Qunut. So the Dua Qunut that we recite in our witr, he's addressing a Hanafi audience and he's saying that this is not sabit anywhere in the witr. This is something which is in Qunut and Nazila. Once in a while when some major catastrophe happens somewhere, then this Qunut, this dua is recited in the Qunut and Nazila. There is no substantiation whatsoever for the recitation of this Qunut in witr. I'm just giving one example, you're not even getting into the academics of it. Now on the one hand, this is the talk being given in the Haram Sharif. And to an audience of Hanafis. And then they are being encouraged, now you must stop reciting this dua. You must go to the bookshops here and buy the kitab which has the dua. That dua is also established. Allahumma hadina fi man hadayt. But now this what you are reading currently is wrong. Now, this is just one example. This happened to be just few days prior to Ramadan. And the ajib thing, that the first Taraweeh Allah Ta'ala blessed in the Haram Sharif in Makkah Mukarramah, the Imam Sahib that performed the Witr Salah, he started his dua in Qunut with the dua Qunut that we recite in Witr. Now here this is being, in the Haram Sharif being said, this is not yet sabit hi nahi hai. Now this is just, we're not going into the academics of it, just to show the confusion that is being created deliberately. That here, the first Taraweeh, the first Witr, being performed with Jamaat, and the beginning, the commencement of the dua, Allahumma inna nasta'inuk. And even in the Haram Sharif in Medina Munawwara, some days later, Imam performed the witr, one of the Imams. So he also recited the same, but he started off somewhere lower down, Allahumma iyyaka na'bud wa laka nusalli. But the lesson in the point in this is, that look at this deliberate confusion. Now many of those people that were present there, because they felt wherever it is, we just take from wherever it comes. So they left from there. Allah knows best now, it's in their hearts and minds that what I was doing all these years was wrong. So this is just one example, a very current example of how Allah knows best what the reasons are for creating this kind of unnecessary confusion, for trying to make people what has come down as in an established manner, authentic manner to them, but now to confuse them and tell them what you're doing is wrong. So much of this danger lies in just taking what comes from where it comes. We're looking at the book, at the cover, and the cover looks very attractive, so everything inside the book must be right. It's like you hear the hooter sounds very nice, so the car must be good. So now you buy the car because of the sound of the hooter. If anybody goes by that rule, that if the sound of the hooter is right, he checks nothing else. As long as the hooter sounds nice, that's good enough. Once Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one hadith sharif, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Inna akhwafa ma akhafu alaykum ba'di kullu munafiqin alimil lisan." Among the things I fear most after me, that will confront the ummah. The times will come, there will be munafiqeen who have a very knowledgeable tongue. In the heart will be something totally different. But the tongue will be very knowledgeable. They'll be able to quote a lot. They will be able to just say a lot of things in a very fancy manner, in a very captivating way. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is describing it, that kullu munafiqin alimil lisan. Munafiq with a knowledgeable tongue. So on the one hand, the acquiring of ilm is extremely essential. But together with that, equally important it is that we see where we take that ilm from. Otherwise, Allah forbid, we'll put ourselves in such severe confusion that we won't know the right path. And a person will just keep wandering here and there, and suddenly Allah knows best where he'll fall off.